Hi, my name's Hammy Sorkin. I am a greenhouse technician by day and succulent business owner by night. I've been growing succulents for about 5 years for research purposes and for commercial purposes for about 8 months. Succulents, aka fat plants, have always been my favorite. So first off, what is a succulent? Well, it's a pretty general term. It tends to mean plants that store a lot of water in their leaves and stems and tend to live in very arid conditions. They are found on every continent except for Antarctica and come in every color of the rainbow. They tend to live in really dry regions, but not always deserts. There are species that can live here in St. Louis, like Opuntia humifusa or the prickly pear, and there are species that can live here year-round and can handle freezing temperatures, like sempervivum species. That being said, there are plenty of succulent species that can thrive in your own home, even when it's snowing outside. Because the term succulents is so general, their needs can vary wildly, from needing bright, direct sunlight 16 hours a day to living on just office lights. But most succulents, especially succulents with rosettes, which are leaves coming out like a rose from a center point, need a lot of light. For some, a really bright window will keep them happy. And for me, I ran out of windowsill space, so I had to move to grow lights. Most succulents who thrive on really bright, direct light for most of the day have what's called a farina, which is a waxy coating on the top of their leaves that protects them from the harsh sun, and it can be rubbed off, so be careful. Part of their photosynthetic process, called crassulacean acid metabolism, or CAM, requires darkness. It's when they collect most of their CO2. This allows them to keep their stomata closed during the day, which helps them keep in the moisture and reduces evapotranspiration. For pollination, you can just take a paintbrush, swab it into one flower to collect the pollen, and then swab it onto another to deposit it. And this can create seeds which are very, 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 very small. And this is a really hard process to do. So what's more common are collecting the pups, the babies. So pups are when a succulent from the base will send out a clone, another rosette, or another baby. And leaf propagation is really similar. Genera like Echeveria, Graptopetalum, and Sedum are most common for this. You can just pluck a leaf right off the plant, let it callus over, let it dry up for just a few days to a week, and then you stick it on soil and it's going to grow a new baby out of that leaf. So this is how they propagate in the wild a lot. So both pups and leaf propagations is how you get clones, but using pollination is how you can get hybrids and create new forms of succulent. It's a common myth that succulents don't like water, but I wouldn't necessarily say that's true. There are a lot of succulents that can be grown hydroponically. The problem normally comes from fungi that are in the soil when succulents sit in water or get watered too much, and that can cause them to have root rot, which will kill them. So overwatering is a problem, but it can be avoided with good soil, good drainage, and a schedule. I mix my own succulent soil. I use a general potting mix like you can get at any store, and I add turfus, which is kind of like really small pebbles. I use stuff that's less than 5 millimeters in diameter. This helps add drainage to the soil so the water can flow through and doesn't build up. Another really important thing for succulents is for the pot it's in to have holes in the bottom. This will allow the water to flow right through the pot rather than build up within the pot, causing root rot. Besides that, succulents can be grown in plastic, terracotta, or fun things like conch shells. It's always a good idea to do your own research before you adopt a succulent, as, again, their needs can vary wildly. The Kirkwood Library has multiple books on succulent and cacti care, and a website that I like to use is succulentguide.com. It can really help with identifying, too, because succulents can be crossbred between genera or multiple genuses. So you can combine Echeveria with Graptopetalum to get Graptoveria. And all of these hybrids make identification pretty hard, but that's a good website to go to help you identify what you have and make sure you give it the best care. In the next video, I'm going to show you a huge variety of succulents and cool things about them.